For you to have two children, multiple children who have problem, people think that you are the problem, and actually it reaches a point staff would not want to associate themselves with you because mtoto wa kwanza, wa pili na tena sasa wa nne, you must be having a problem. Hata kanisa, and I have forgotten to say that they are not allowed. Just because mtoto anarukaruka hapa na pale, people in the church don't allow this. Wanasemaga kila wakati hiki kitoto kina shida huku kikirukaruka huku all over. So next time, when a parent hears that, haizi kuja na mtoto wake. When I heard the news my daughter fell, I was at work. And the one who called me, she told me that your daughter has fallen down. And I could not understand how comes that she have fallen down and then I'm being told to go to Kenyatta National Hospital. I didn't understand. Because according to me, by then ningejua mtu akiaguka, unapakwa kitu kaa spirit, hiyo maisha inaendelea. So it came with a lot of mixed feelings. I could not understand why go to Kenyatta all the way. And there are so many chemists, small dispensaries, and so many other places that one can be attended to. Then here comes to Kenyatta. I tried to walk to Kenyatta from town. I tried to take a cab. I tried to take a bus, and I could not even understand why I'm going to Kenyatta. But eventually I went to Kenyatta and I found my daughter at ICU. And that is where my journey with her started. I could not even pray to God to do anything, but I think God has helped us in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how has parenting been for you? And you can just share the journey of parenting.
Okay, my journey to parenting a special kid initially, it wasn't easy because I have to go and forget about myself and focus on the child, especially now when it came to this kind of need. It is going to therapies actually we used to go for therapies from Monday to Saturday. Saturday is only the day that we were free. We were not going to Kenyatta National Hospital because the therapies of special needs, you have to have consistency. If you skip a day, your child or yourself, you regress. Yeah.
You mentioned that your firstborn daughter, she had the accident when she was 3 years old.
Yeah.
You know, at that point of life, the child is still ignorant of most of things happening around her. So how did you convey the message to her? Because I'm sure there were times when maybe she was asking, why am I this way? Why am I having certain conditions? So how did you convey the message to her?
Okay. Actually, I wasn't able to tell her. It's not an easy thing, Immaculate. It's not easy. In fact, I think it is where people who are telling her, and also actually adults and children. The first encounter with her discussing about the accident, I went to her drawer and I found a note, and it was written how people, maybe including children, usually stigmatize her and make her feel like she's not worth. And actually, that was the first time then I tried to tell her, don't bother about them, focus on yourself, focus on your studies, and you are the best that God gave you. You are the best gift as a girl we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are some of the most challenging moments for you and the family generally?
Okay, number one, the most challenging moments are, they are actually not even moments, paying for these therapies. They're very, very expensive, time consuming, and most of the people don't understand therapies are very expensive, especially that you are not supposed to go for therapy for 1 day or 1 week. You can imagine we have gone for therapies for 15 years for us for my firstborn, and still we are going for therapies for the other one who is autistic. And if you skip a therapy, mtoto anarudi nyuma. So consistency, it is the key. You have to persevere. You have to undergo so many problems and consuming a lot of time. That has been very challenging. And also the other challenging thing we get, it is how people treat our children. They treat them badly, and mostly, especially our community, we are treated like there's something that we have not done, especially when it comes to matters of dowry. People think ni mahali hujalipiwa, ama mama yako hakuwahi lipiwa mahali, ama your grandmother. There's so many stories that come with disability. Yeah.
That's very disheartening and saddening
Sure.
at the same time.
Sure.
But what are some of the specific milestones or achievements that you're really proud of about your children?
Okay, so many milestones, so many. Especially, you have heard I've said my daughter came from fetal position. Fetal position ni kale kamtoto mdogo. Even speech, even eyesight, even hearing, even walking. The least thing actually holding her spinal cord. She couldn't hold her spinal cord because when the head is hit, the spinal cord is affected. So there's so many milestones until now that she's able. She was from the wheelchair, the special wheelchair, until now she can walk with her 2 legs. Yeah. So she have achieved so much with God and therapy, consistent therapies. Yeah.
So now in terms of support and resources, what kind of support systems, either from family, friends, or healthcare, have been met and which you find helpful to you?
Okay, number one, I just thank God because He has given us the strength to overcome this issue. We don't see the disability as an issue in our family. And the other person, it is my husband who has been very, very supportive to our children. We have never skipped therapy because of lack of money, lack of maybe lack. Actually, for him, he has really, really supported us. And we have been able to achieve through his support. People don't even bother. Actually, you can't count on other people. It is you and your business. I've never found anybody asking me, do you take your daughter for therapy? How do you do it? How do you walk to the therapist? How do you drive there? No one has ever asked me how I do it. It is within our nuclear. Actually, people don't care. They are not. I think maybe they don't know. For me to be positive about it, I think they don't know. Otherwise, if you look at it, for 15 years, nobody has ever come and told me, shika hii 100 uingie matatu ya kwenda Kenyatta, ama save journey to Kenyatta. There is thing to hear from somebody. Tell how is your daughter has been going through therapy. No one. I think people, maybe they're ignorant, or they even don't know. Or I don't know. I don't understand people.
So it has been an issue of your family, your nuclear family.
It is the business of my nuclear family to know whether they are going for therapy, they are going, or they don't go. It is business. It is our own business. Yeah.
Something that I failed to ask you when you were beginning the interview or when you were explaining.
Yeah.
Do you also have other siblings, other kids?
Okay,
apart from your firstborn daughter and the last one?
Okay, I have 3 children. The 18 one who got the physical disability. My second born, he's okay. He's just a neurotypical like the rest of us. Now my third born who is autistic and have still ADHD. But unfortunately, we had our second born who passed on when she was 8 months. So our journey has not been the easy one. It has been with a lot of struggles. She got ill at 8 months for one day and she passed on. Yeah.
So sorry about that. I'm sure your mental health could have been at stake at that time because with a lot that it was going on and probably the talks from people, I'm sure maybe you got some negative thoughts from people. What steps did you take to ensure that your mental health was well stable?
Okay, I've never been very serious about taking my mental health, but I realized after many years, last year, that is when I realized my mental state is not good, and I didn't go to a counselor, unfortunately. I went to school. Rather than going to see a counselor, I said I need to understand other people. Now I'm studying counseling psychology at KCA University. I need to understand these parents. I realized parents have so many problems, and a child who has special needs doesn't know how he or she is. It is the parent who knows. I took it to my initiative rather than focusing on the children. Now let me focus on a parent who has so many burdens, who has so many problems from the society, from everybody is looking like a parent, like ni kama kuna kitu walikosea. For you to have two children, multiple children who have problem, people think that you are the problem, and actually it reaches a point some would not want to associate themselves with you because mtoto wa kwanza, wa pili, na tena sasa wa nne. You must be having a problem. But I said to myself, if God knows what is happening, I should not worry. I should not bother at it, because if God knows that they are good, He can give us a good or a neurotypical child. He would have given us. But now He has given us this kind of children. I have to take care of them, not for myself, for God. Because how the society is behaving, let me not take care for the child for them. Let me take care for God. Yeah, for me to be strong and to be able to take care of these children. Yeah.
So how has access to adequate resources, either medical and educational, been to you? Has it been easy, or are there specific areas where you feel like there should be improvements?
Okay, improvement on the medical side, especially the therapies, which are very expensive. There's a lot need to be done. Because number one, most of our insurance companies, they don't pay for these therapies. Most of them, you have to use your own money from your pocket to pay for these therapies. And note this, you have to go for us, especially for the autism one, we have to go for a minimum 2 times in a week, and we go for a private hospital. The occupational therapy, it is 3,400, minimum of 2. And still the boy, because he's done verbal, the autistic one, we have to go for the speech therapy, which is also very expensive, 3,500, and a minimum of 2. You can imagine occupational therapy for 7,200, and the other one for speech therapy. It is not an easy journey, because at times you are recommendation that for him he has to go do occupational therapy, speech therapy, and also behavioral therapy. For myself, we cannot afford behavioral therapy because it is very expensive. Because 1 hour it is 2,000. How many Kenyans can afford? Very few. A few number can afford behavioral therapy. And also even this speech therapy and occupational therapy, they are also very expensive. Paying a session for 1 hour, 3,400 minimum, it is very expensive. The government hospital, they are there, but very little it is done in those rooms. Very little it is done. You find there's no enough equipment. So taking your child to a government hospital, it is a challenge, because they will do very little, and there are so many children who are there. So very little it's done. And the process, it is so cumbersome. It is not the easiest one. And mark you're not supposed to go for 1 day. At least for 1 day, once per month, unaweza sema tu wacha niende. But now you're supposed to go maybe for 2 days per week. And the process, going there from 7 a.m., you're going to go back maybe home at 3. And a child who is autistic, si wa kukaa chini, he has to be all over, touching anything, mention it. So by the time you're going home, maybe he has diarrhea, ama amepotelea huko. So the process, it is not the best. Yeah. So the government need to do something, especially equipping those therapy rooms, especially the sensory rooms. They are very few. Yeah, and also insurance, they should consider this therapy. It is not cosmetic, because most of them, they think it is cosmetic, and they cannot pay for that. Yeah.
Because I remember there are many instances
Yeah.
of parents giving their testimonies that it's very expensive to access some of these healthcare programs, and that's why you find that people from the informal settlements or from the formal sectors, they prefer to keep their kids at home and they suffer alone with it without going for help. So that's also quite a good thing that you're doing. Basic healthcare access. So when you now venture on your daily life and routines, what is a normal day like for you and your kids?
Okay, my normal day with my kids, especially now, my firstborn now is in a boarding school. I thank God he was accepted as a private school. It is not easy also for getting them a school because our systems, they are not the best for these children who have special needs. Because most of these children, ni kama wakienda shule, very few things that are, most of the things they are not done for them. And for her, because she uses one hand and the leg, it is very weak, lazima akuwe na mtu anamsaidia. But a public school would be at least very hard for her to maneuver inside that. And now at home, back to your question, back at home, I had to forget about doing my own things because I have to be there for my last born who is autistic. I'm the one who is supposed to drive him to school. And also, if I don't pick him from school, I have to be having somebody. And for him, ni wale so hyper, kupotea ni rahisi, so it is not an easy journey. So lazima hata kama kuna mahali naenda, ukimwacha uingie washroom, lazima kuna mtu amemshika hapa. Otherwise utampata amepotea and it is not easy kumpata sababu haongei number one. So communication, it is a problem. So you have to be having somebody who is supporting him most of the time.
How old is he now?
6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for your firstborn daughter, you mentioned that she has been enrolled to a boarding school.
Yeah.
Is it an all-inclusive boarding school or just specific for?
No, it is an inclusive. It is an integrated school. It has the neurotypical children, and they are very supportive to her. Yeah.
So how do you manage balancing caregiving with the other aspects of your life?
Okay, number one, I've told you, you cannot do this kind of work alone. You have to be having somebody who is very supportive. I have a house girl who is very supportive, but previously I have suffered because even house girls are children who have special needs, parents. They usually have a problem because most of the house girls hawataki kufanya kazi za hawa watoto, especially now the boy is big and he's going to pull on himself. So these girls, house girls, hawataki kazi kama hiyo. So you need a system that is very supportive from home to school. Yeah.
And if I can go back to our previous question about their school, do you feel like their education, their expectations are met from the respective institutions that they are in?
Okay, very few schools are able to meet the needs of these children. And you have to do a lot of extra things. If you take your child to a regular school, you have to pay for a shadow teacher. If, on condition, the school allows you to bring a shadow teacher. So it is an extra expense for you to take your child to a regular school. And about the autistic children, you have to, because their issue, it is social behavior and communication skills. You have to find somebody who is there to help you achieve this, because it is behavior, social, and communication. And a child cannot get these schools when she or he is in a special school. Because in a special school, atapata wote wako autistic, wengine cerebral palsy, ADHD, and all the conditions. Na hawa hawatamsaidia sana kuimprove. The only children that can help these children who are autistic, it is these other neurotypical children. Yeah.
So when they go to school, you also do understand that they have to engage with the other kids in one way or the other.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what has been your role? How have you helped them navigate social interactions with other kids?
Okay, number one, it is taking him to a regular school where he is now. And that is where I have come in, and our initiative as a family, it is in the school that my son goes. We help them effect the policies and systems of helping children who are differently abled. And we are taking it to ourselves, making sure that any child who is there who has special needs, he or she, their needs are taken care of. So I'm not doing any kind of business or job. I'm taking it to myself to advocate for them, all schools, to have a department that we call a sensory integration room. Because the needs of our special needs are autism or neurodevelopmental conditions. They have issues with their sensory issues. So until maybe a school comes up with a department, that is where the child will be helped at. Yeah.
I remember back there I asked you about how you took care of your mental health back then. And right now, mental health talks have been key aspects in any organization, in any family. So right now, have you taken any steps to take care of your mental health even as you take care of your kids? And what kind of support are you receiving from your husband? Or rather, I also do understand you can never work alone. You must also have a partner to help you. How has it been generally? How was the journey been?
Okay, my mental health has been at stake, and I've tried very hard to navigate throughout this journey of mental. And when I went to school, that is when I realized some of the symptoms or the signs I've been seeing in my life. It is my mental health. So rather than going to see a counselor, which I will be one soon, I tried to take notes, a lot of notes when we are in class, especially now the coping skill, defense mechanism, usipate breaking down, because it is not easy. Imagining how your child, what will happen when you're not here. That is the greatest problem as parents we have. Thinking, if I'm not alive, what will happen to my son? Because now the boy he's not independent, he depends on me. Uncertainties of life, though, that is the greatest bother with most parents. It is not anything else. What would happen in case you're not there? The other thing that you have mentioned, it is about my husband. My husband being a man, basically a man, accepting some of these things and talking about them, it is very hard. So I think for him, it is keeping quiet to himself. But between myself, I decided I will never be silent about it. I have to tell the whole world. My son is autistic. My son doesn't have speech at the moment, but I'm very optimistic. One day he's going to talk, and I have to talk on behalf of him. I have to tell the world he's not ill-mannered. He's not badly behaved. It is only that his brain, it is wired differently from us. So whatever he's doing, he's not doing it that he's doing it like something bad. His brain, it is like that, and you should not beat him. You should not do anything bad to him, because that is how it is. Yeah.
Such a strong spirit you've got over there. Yeah. Appreciated. What advice would you give to other parents who might be struggling from the same challenges?
Okay, I would like to tell all parents that who have children who have special needs, never give up. Follow up on your kid, speak for your kid. In any case, there is somebody who is against your child, stand up and speak for your child, because your child is a gift from God, and there's no mistake you as a parent you did. Have consistency in therapies and follow what the doctors have told you, because that is what is going to help your child unlock his or her potential and be the best person and live to his or her optimum. Yeah.
Okay, let's now switch gears to community and advocacy. Have you interacted with other parents who have kids with disabilities? And how important is that sense of community?
Okay, I've tried very much bringing parents together. Last month, I had an initiative where I brought parents who have special needs, and I had to talk to the university to do something for these parents. And I experienced that most of the parents, they are like me, they have never gone through counseling. They have been fighting the experience alone. And that time I brought counselors from KC University. The parents really appreciated and they were happy talking about the first time. And the community should come up and support these parents because they are forgotten. They think people think about the children and they forget a parent. And a parent needs to be healthy to be able to take care of the child. Yeah.
Are there any projects that you are involved in to raise the awareness on disabilities?
Okay, I have a project or an initiative that is called Infinite Child. Infinite, it is holistically about a child who has special needs, and Infinite will be taking care of the needs of the child that is of a child who has special needs. That is the therapies and helping them access things like assistive devices. Those are the walking frames, and also things like wheelchair. And also the other thing that we are focusing most, it is the psychosocial support to the parents who have special needs. And also we are advising on parents on education, things like educational placement, because these children need to be taken to school because it is very important. But focusing mainly on therapies. If a child has special needs, parents should take these children for therapies for them to reach to a point of getting education. Therapies first, then education. Okay, I would like to tell people that parents with special needs, they have so many problems, and from the side of the community, and also you have to consider that these therapies, they are very expensive, and they need a lot of money, and also they are time consuming. So people should help these parents, even if it is getting some time and stay with the kid for maybe for an hour or for a day. It will help these parents because most of these parents, they suffer a lot because you cannot leave your child with anybody. You have to stay with your child throughout the day. So a parent needs support from community, not only even in money wise, even giving up your time to go and spend time with the child, at least to give time the parent to go and live herself. It is very necessary and it will help the parent to be better and healthier. Also, the other thing, the community should come up and even supporting this parent with even money or to go for therapies. Because if you want to help this child, it's very vital. Therapy is the one that is going to help this child reach or live to his optimum. And also the other thing I would like to say, it is about the initiative I'm doing. It is for everybody. It is not about myself or my children. Myself, I've been able to pay for my child's therapy, but I'm coming in between for these children who are not being able to go for therapy. At least coming up at least we fill the gap of therapies. Therapies for the children and therapies for the parents. That is the psychosocial support for the parent. For once in a while, and I'm looking forward, maybe in December, I'll be having a forum for these parents to come together, share their experience, and we celebrate and give them something like Christmas with their children to pray together and feel that there's somebody who can give them an opportunity and we appreciate them, who is not going to set them away. Because these children, let me tell you, immaculate, at a kanisa, and I have forgotten to say that, they are not allowed. Just because mtoto anarukaruka hapa na pale, the people in the church don't allow this. Wanasemaga kila wakati hiki kitoto kina shida huku kikirukaruka huku all over. So next time, when a parent hears that, haizi kuja na mtoto wake. So I'm also focusing and advocating for these parents to be allowed in churches. And I've done that on a serious note. Besides now pushing to the government and to the corporate, helping these children get therapies, even the church. And it is the church I'm speaking to. The church should take this position and allow these parents with these children to come to church. Wasiseme wanataka wazazi pekee. We also need these children to go and experience the love of God. I'm doing this seriously to the religious spaces to allow these children to go to these religious spaces and enjoy the love of God, because it is very vital. And I've said that whatever they lack, it is the social communication and behavior. They cannot know how to behave when alone in their houses with their mother alone. No, they need to integrate and also socialize with us and other children. And so as they learn these skills. The other thing it is that they are not allowed into social places, even birthdays. Hicho kitoto kinakujaga kinashika makeke bra bra bra. Those are the kind of talks we normally hear from out there. And it feels so bad that I cannot go for a birthday with my child just because people don't know. Others are ignorant. Others, I think others, they know, I don't know how our community is, because as we go by, these children are so many at the moment. Most of them, they are hidden in their houses, and they are actually others because of their hyperactivity. They are chained in the house. Wamefungwa na nyororo hawatoki. And I've noted that some of these developed countries like the US, they have something they call a hades. Wanaifuga hapa. So anashida amefuguliwa na chain kama like a dog, and because atapotea. At times me wanaikiwa mzuri, because if I don't have somebody who is going to support me, then I need something like that. But our system here, we don't go with these kids anywhere. We leave them in the houses. So imagine the churches and the religious spaces. Can you allow these children to the churches? If we have existing churches, create a small room that is called sensory room. That sensory rooms helps the child when the child is overwhelmed, at least he or she can relieve his senses. Aache kurukaruka, akigizwa kwa hiyo room, aone maybe something like arukaruke kwa trampoline na therapy ball. By the time amerukaruka for 20 minutes, you have given that boy therapy for free. Na anarudi anaanza kuconcentrate na Sunday school. But you see all the time nyinyi mnakaa wastaarabu, you just don't want disturbance. That is very wrong, and the church belongs for all. If these churches are not going to allow these children, waandike kitu mahali, waandike this church, it is only for neurotypical, not for neurodiverse, because the love of Christ, it is for all.